if you spend a lot of time thinking, judging what other people are doing, sometimes it takes a lot of valuable time out of focusing on what you can be doing. Welcome, beautiful thinkers. Let's talk more about that in a moment. Just let you know, listen to the end of the podcast if you are unhappy, because maybe the reason you're unhappy is the structure of your own beliefs, and I might be able to help you with that. More on that later. Let's begin.
This is a beautiful thought.
Let's talk about something a little bit dark. Is there are dark parts of humanity, and as Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote, the line of good and evil strikes down in every person's heart, dividing every man's heart. I want to talk to you about these examples of powerful people and when powerful people fall. So, for example, with Harvey Weinstein, I might judge him and say, look at this creep, this disgusting man. He had all his power in his hands and he abused it. He took advantage of his situation. He had power over others, power over people's livelihoods and careers, and he used it to appease his own short-term sexual pleasures. It might seem quite disgusting. Well, probably is disgusting. But I can stand here and I can judge a man like that. The fact is, I have no idea what it's like to be in that kind of position. Can you imagine if people had to come to you to advance in their careers? If you were the difference between them working as a waitress the rest of their lives, struggling in obscurity, or literally becoming multimillionaires, you being that kind of gatekeeper. Now, of course, you have your own desires. Would you be so fine? Would I be so fine that I would resist the temptation to do something bad on a whim? I could judge a person like that. I probably have in the past. If I investigate myself, if I explore my knowledge of myself and try to find out what kind of person I am, look at my own character, question my own integrity, wonder what I would do in that kind of situation. After having done that kind of analysis, I couldn't say if I would do the same in his position. So here's the thing. If I spend my time judging other people, maybe even feeling angry about other people in positions of power, I might waste a lot of time. But if I spend my time trying to develop my own character, then I can get all of these rewards. The rewards of being a person who knows himself, who knows his own limits. The price is letting go of judgment. And the reward is discernment. And I assure you, my friends, this is a case where the reward far exceeds the price. We can let go of our judgments and focus on our own characters. Be discerning. Be upstanding in our own lives. And we don't need to waste so much energy thinking about what others would do. When I was in the temple in Wat Tam Krabok near Saraburi in Thailand, I noticed so often that the head monks, would say this phrase, and it's quite common in Thailand, and it's quite frustrating, or it can be. The phrase is, up to you. So it's your decision. Even sometimes the monks would probably know what the right decision was, but they would tell us, it's up to you. It's your decision what you do with your lives. They can offer guidance, but they give you enough space to make your own decisions. It was quite remarkable being there and noticing how much these monks embodied that ideal. Sometimes there would be some disturbance in the temple. For example, someone went out to the nearby town and couldn't resist drinking a bottle of whiskey, came back to the temple very drunk, and it disturbed some of us, and that fellow went to go sleep it off. I remember one person who was staying in the temple said, well, there should be a no tolerance policy. That fellow should be kicked out of the temple. Rules are rules. But what he didn't understand was, rules are for oneself. Standards are for oneself. And you don't need to worry. Sounds like it's something which might put more pressure on you, but actually when you fully explore it, it's quite liberating. You never need to worry about the way somebody else lives their life. All you can do is control your own actions, your own breath, your own thoughts, your own speech. And that is enough. In fact, it's more than enough. There's so many wonderful things you can do with those mere tools. Let us let go of judgment. We don't have to focus on what other people are doing with their lives. We can focus on our own actions. I remember talking to my friend Link. I used to get into a lot of arguments on the internet, and a lot of them not very fruitful. It's kind of a waste of time. And I said to Link, I finally realized I don't need to take responsibility for other people being correct or whatever. If they're wrong, I can just let them be wrong. And Link said, yes. And softly, gently corrected me. He said, yes, another way of looking at it is you can trust the divinity of other people to figure it out for themselves. So don't feel like you need to judge or correct other people. You are free. Discernment is your gift. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for thinking beautifully.
A beautiful thought.
In the episode, I mentioned how the monks and so many people in Thailand always say, up to you. And a lot of the time, what they're doing is subtly reinforcing the idea that your actions and your thoughts and your speech are your responsibility. And that actually means that you have more power than you think you do sometimes. And part of the reason we do cognitive behavioral techniques is to explore that. By looking at our own beliefs, we can find our own personal power when we examine our beliefs and perhaps adjust them a little bit or change them to something that's more productive, more empowering, can lead us to a more fulfilling life. So if that's something that interests you, you can check out beautifulpodcast.com and notice the CBT sessions link at the top there. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.